All right. So, Coach Morgan's college team holds the record for the most regular season wins in a row at 27 or 19.
21, 27 on 19.
Yeah.
21.
Man, you don't know me like that.
Man.
From the second week of 1990, 98, all the way through 2000, we didn't lose a game. We won 27 straight.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Wow.
Had the longest winning streak in the country active at that particular time, and we it was a good run. Learned a lot from that particular band there, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
Streak.
Right. Streaks are overrated. Hey, that's true. There's some teams that have a good streak and then they get to the game to count, and hey, they blow it.
And that was us. I mean, we ran that streak, and then we were in the country. Then we went to the playoffs and lost. And just because it doesn't mean to, and we had a phenomenal hit job of preparing us every week and keeping our. No matter how much of a distraction you say that it's not, because eventually. It's coming to an end because you're getting the best of everybody every week. So you make the best of it and you do what you can with. Eventually, all good things must come to an end at some point. So that was our HBCU, and actually history, because we were the first HBCU at that particular time. To be ranked number one, not just in HBCU polls, but at that point it was 1AA before. So what would be FC? We were for the number one team.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So have you ever? A quick question on that, Coach. As a coach, have you ever gotten to a point where if a streak is going that long, do you ever get to the point where you think about, hey man, maybe we might need to try to lose this game? You don't ever want to coach your players to lose, but knowing that the playoff is coming up, would you rather, go ahead and take that loss, get it out the system, letting everybody know, hey, we ain't that as good as you think we are. Let's go and get this loss out there and just move on to the playoff.
I don't think you want to take. You can deal with it. If it happens, and then it becomes, a formidable. And you can teach these guys because it hurts a lot more when you get into the you suffer that loss, and then you ultimately get a chance to play for the championship. So I don't think that you want it to happen, but if it does happen, you got to understand why it happened. One thing I will. To an end, if you go back and look at the film, there have been telltale signs weeks prior to that, probably because you were winning, and the ultimate details of those that you didn't, because on all levels you got to win. So at that point, I would say we'll give you the opportunity to refocus. Get. I just think
Right. So Junior, I got one more question for you, man. Then we're gonna start getting into this thing a little bit deeper. So Coach Morgan's offense at Virginia Union average points per game were 19, 25, or 34. We can't hear you. Junior, unmic yourself. Let me see. Junior.
Hey, I said with a winning streak like that, man, gotta be at least 34 points or higher.
Man, thank you, man. You know me now.
You just try to go with the best one. You try to go with the one you know faster.
There's no way possible to go 27 street Winter Street, man, not score at least over 30 or plus, man, because I know it's tough, man. As he went on, at some point, it was getting tough.
But this was when this was a couple years ago.
About maybe from when I was at Virginia Union. So I got there
18, I believe it was. So that was in that little span there.
Okay.
The offensive round there. Lighten up a little
bit. Man, we like to do that just to open it up a little bit, man. Show people head coaches know how to have fun too, you know.
That was
so I mean, Coach, is there anything else that about yourself that you might want to put out there? Guys know, let these parents know about you.
Yeah, that through the opportunity of this ascension stage
of my coaching career, where it's led me to now had the opportunity. Been blessed to have the opportunity to sit on both sides of the table as a high school head coach, a college head coach, as well. So it's given me the opportunity, gotten and seen through the recruiting process, dealing with student athletes, parents, coaches from both. When I'm able to speak to young men from a place of humility, a place of experience, a place of truth, to make an informed decision as for what's the next step, the next chapter of their lives. So I do. That piece of it as well, because I think it's just better connection when you're talking with a high school coach, when you're talking with that you're not necessarily just talking down to them. You're talking to them from a place that we all can understand, and we've all been there. So be the one piece.
And you guys in Duval, huh?
We're in Duval.
Yeah.
Interesting tidbit. I say an interesting tidbit. I didn't know until I actually moved here. I found out that per square mile, the big city,
the United States. So
that man, I didn't know that.
Good piece of information.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Did you know that Junior's from Miami? So Junior might have knew that.
Sure, I absolutely didn't know that at all. I didn't know that. It's something new. I don't learn something new tonight.
You probably thought Miami was the biggest.
Yeah, definitely.
I was shocked to have to.
Y'all Miamians think y'all the best at everything, man.
Of course, Coach. What you mean? But until we get caught doing it, then we got to recruit all over again.
So, Coach, what's happening at Edward Waters this summer, man? You got some camps or anything you guys going to be at evaluating talent? Can you hear me, Coach? Coach Morgan. You can't hear me? Coach Morgan, can you hear me? You got a bad connection.
Yeah, you got bad connection.
Coach, your connection went out on us, Coach. I don't know what happened. Coach Morgan, you still there with us? It was good just a second ago.
Yeah.
Coach, can you hear us?
All right, you can hear. Can hear.
We having some technical difficulties, people.
Yeah, he has like a quick delay. He got the real delay on his connection.
Oh, doesn't. Yes, man. It's good to have Coach Morgan on with us tonight, man. It's great when these coaches, not afraid to come in and, talk to the people and let people know who they really are. That's those coaches. Those coaches are good coaches to play for. Those are the people you want your kids around because they're not hiding anything.
Yeah, especially having a coach like that, man. That he majored in communication and being able to relate to the players and communicate the proper way, and not degrade anybody, and knowing how to approach kids and know what to say and what not to say. When to say and when not to say it. And so it's always good to have a coach like that, man. A guy that knows how to communicate with other people and just understanding where they come from and what to say and how to say things.
Right. I'm texting him right now. Man, you can't predict technology, that's for sure.
Man, I'm telling you. Jacksonville too big, man, for that play. For his connection.
Man, did you know Edward Waters was in Jacksonville?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know. I found out a few years ago when they were in NAIA, Jacksonville. They were playing Southeastern University. And they recently just became D2.
Huh. Man, shoot, I don't think I've been through Jacksonville one time. I didn't even know there was even a school located there. So other than Florida, I mean that's in Gainesville though. That ain't in Jacksonville, but sure, I didn't even know they had a college there.
Right. Coach is trying to get back on. He lost his connection. There you go.
There we go.
All right.
He's back. Yeah, because we were just talking a little bit about how a lot of people don't know that Edward Waters, is in Jacksonville or that they even Division II.
Correct.
Coming up on 1 year ago, July the 1st, we made the transition from NCAA. That was a very exciting time.
I've been there maybe a month, so being named the head coach 1 month. We now move from NAIA to Division II. Exciting time.
It's been very well. We've been there now. Last year we played it full in SIAC schedule as we will again this season. So it was really exciting, making the transition. We saw some of the the caliber of young man interest as far as recruiting.
It's had a very direct impact on recruiting
as far as getting our brand out there, being able to attract now student athletes from namely within this First Coast area, radius south of us, north of us, all the way down to south. That we have definitely seen a direct transition as it relates to us with recruiting.
Right. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, since you hit on that was, do you guys benefit being right there on that border of Georgia and Florida and being able to, go play both sides of the line and get to those guys?
Absolutely. Very definitely in South Georgia area. So You really don't have to. You know, I always make a joke when we're talking about recruiting with our. It really forces us to be very detailed and in our evaluations and making sure we're doing our due diligence in these areas, because if you don't handle it right, you'll be in your backyard.
Right.
We had an opportunity this year when we played against a young man from field, and every time we looked up, so that was just happen again. We have to make sure that we this Jacksonville area as far as recruiting is concerned, and then also one of our conference, Savannah State, you know. Well, so you know, we have to just make sure that you know, we due diligence and in training them, so you know, we're able to compete at the high level that we're expecting.
Right. You guys sharing that talent pool with those guys over there.
Yeah, and as far as the portal goes, Coach, have you guys been in, deep into the portal, getting any players coming in, or have you guys really stayed away from it?
Well,
Man, he keep breaking up on us.
my philosophy with the portal, you know, you know, the portal is new. Recruiting transfers, you know, that's definitely.
Right, and he's about to spit some dimes.
It's been there, so I want to start with saying that first. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. You was about to spit some dimes, Coach, and you
okay.
kept breaking up. We need people to hear this.
Okay.
We need people to hear this because nobody really said that. Nobody really said that. You know, transfers has been a thing. You know, I was a transfer. It's not new.
Well, on that team that I on at Tennessee State, back in 98, 99, and 2000, we were laced with transfers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Coach Bill Mew, same era was laced with transfers. So my time at Virginia Union, one particularly, we had 28 transfers. So again, the portal is new, but the recruiting of transfers is something that's. So I think that
right.
Understand what your waiver, what your for what someone else is doing, because what you're gonna find that if you go for the quick fix, that year that you don't get the quick fix, you're gonna get the quick fall.
Mm.
And the next one is if you are constantly going for the quick fix and you're not developing anything, you don't have of talent that has developed. So I think it's a fine formula, and whatever that formula looks like for your institution that you're coaching or your program, that's your prerogative. So for take high school, we never where we find ourselves burned because we didn't get this we thought we were going to get. You did have to ask yourself, what are you developing? Again, you know, if you're always getting that transfer out of that portal, you come to a point to get it, you're going to hurt yourself. So I think that then you have to look at where. You know, you may want to take a kid out the portal to fit the portal to fit any experience in a situation that you may have lost. And if you find yourself always having a portal, it's just my belief, you have to look at how you're recruiting and how you're developing. The problem is may not be that you're not getting. Again, the problem might be, you know, how are we developing the talent into a freshman that we go out and search. Then, you know, you have to also maybe because is he a good fit for your team? Is he a good fit for your program? When he's going to mess with your culture, and as he learns how to adapt, distraction is a me guy. So, you know, all of that stuff goes in play when you're messing around as far as bringing tons of guys in and out of the portal. So for I on behalf of Edward Waters University, we're always going to have a well-balanced high school class, and we're going to develop those young men, and then we will use the portal upgrade or experience depth, as well as, you know, in some instances, they're out there that, you know, I mean, yes, but that you look at our roster, you see 78 transfers.
Right. Man, I'm glad you said some of that, because I tell guys all the time, it's not just about talent. It goes deeper than that. You know, you got to be a right fit. They're like, well, I'm better than such and such. Yeah, but is your attitude better? You know, is your work ethic better? You know, are you putting your name out there? Are you carrying yourself well? So, I mean, it's a lot more that goes into it than that. And I like what you're saying about the portal, because it's, you know, it's like you find what fits. You know, it's the running back now. We got all the other pieces. We got this freshman running back. He ain't ready yet. You know, so we'll get this running back right now, and we'll keep grooming this freshman running back. You know, but it's not like, you know, coaches are just shopping, you know, saying in grades, because we've talked to a lot of coaches, and a lot of coaches say, hey, we going high school first, you know, because, you know, the Power Fives and things like that, they might be going more transfer guys, but they already know those guys that they're going for. And we talked to Coach Cox from Bluefield last week. We talked to him, and he said, hey, you know, in the portal, you see a name and you see a school, and and so you gotta be smart about jumping into it. And a lot of kids just they dive head first, and when they can't swim, they tread in water once they get in it. You know, so I'm glad you said some of that stuff.
Man, I'm telling you, that's the nature of it. And you know, I say to the young men that you know, are in a situation, you know, I can't tell you, you know, when to get in the portal or not another university, but I do wish that a lot of the student athletes were educated of what happens if I don't get picked up out of the portal, because I just think
it's
always about playing football. You get a degree, man, so get a degree stuck in the portal.
No.
Right. You look like you're about to say something.
But Coach is right. You know, some of those guys don't think about, you know, what might happen when you do get into a portal, if you do get picked up or not. And I don't think a lot of the players, they make those decisions based off their emotions. You know, based off, oh, I don't like this coach, or this happened at university, so I'm getting to the portal. And not thinking, dude, you just threw away a full ride scholarship, man. To where somebody else that doesn't know you have any film to prove yourself, or, you know, every college coaches know each other around the world, so if they find out you have a bad attitude, there's a good chance you're going to be at Portal University for a while.
Right.
You know, so
a 2-year start.
I just hope they make the right choice. Yeah.
Right.
So, Coach, you know, I just recently saw you in a guy, Bobby Roan. That's a good friend of mine. And then right after that, I read an article saying that, you know, FMU is y'all's rivalry, man. What's up with that?
Well, you know, it's really good, because I think now they're going into the 3rd year, including the pandemic year, that Florida Memorial has brought back football. So HBCUs in the state of Florida, which is Edward Waters. We are, of course, is a duplicate.
I just heard that too. I just found out that. All them
two of the
all them Rattler fans think they were the first.
Two of the oldest universities, and we do it which is a last year here in Jacksonville. Chance to go down to open up the season there, so an incentive at the end of camp, because you get a chance with your rival, and one of your rivals, state rivals. So that camp much more going through. It helps with your focus, but it's a great for when you talk about HBCUs. The first word that has to come to it's great for the tradition of both universities, the alumni bases, the fan bases, both cities, the city of Miami Gardens, the city of Jacksonville, from an economic standpoint, when both universities are getting great. And, we get after. Here, it came down to the final drive. I mean, we had to come back in the final seconds and win it after we lived for 59 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So with you guys being, Division II now, and I mean, when you guys went to turn into Division II, when you guys moved to that level, that was your first year, was it not?
Correct.
So how was that?
So,
how was that?
It was a very exciting time. Because we had a lot of firsts going on at that particular time. I had been here less than a month at that particular time. We just opened a brand new stadium. So our first game against Florida Memorial was going to be in our brand new stadium that had never been. A game had been played on campus at Edward Waters University. We had just transitioned from Edward Waters College to Edward Waters University, then to Division II. So it was a great time here as far as transition. We were calling it. So we got a chance to get that time going and utilize that momentum to kind of catapult us into Division II. And we did really well. We started out here and against Florida Memorial, opened up at home, and then we were able to get a great taste of SIAC Division II football. Going through the season. So, it showed us where we were and where we needed to be at the level that we compete, not just at a level. We don't talk about just playing at a level, we want to be at championship level. So we got an opportunity to see, what championship level football looked like in the SIAC. And then from that point on, we knew what we needed to take our cue and do what we needed to do to, again, to direct this team and this program into that direction.
Got you. Yeah, and you guys got a new field as well. You got that turf field.
Brand new stadium. Right there, located, beautiful turf, beautiful jumbotron. You couldn't ask for more. So, again, and that field, where they don't, in the in the past, they had to get on and different stadiums around the city of Jacksonville. When you have something that you can call your home, something that you can defend, it just changes the atmosphere. Just from that college football game day atmosphere, fans experience of a family experience that they deserve. And then giving the student athletes, the guys in our program, something that they can be proud of, and something their hat on. They got an opportunity to see that this university and this administration is making an investment into their success. So around the country and see different stadiums and see that right now we're sitting at the best of the best, and then we're opening up a brand new wellness and weight room center right here in the next coming month. Again, state of the art, everything. So they're seeing that the administration here in the city of Jacksonville area is about investing in their experience of making sure that they have a great college experience, not just academically as well. And it's just something that you have to get excited about. I do. Athletes appreciate it, and I think they'll get the opportunity to show their, continuing to get it done in the classroom, and then this year going out and being very productive on the field.
See, that's a lot of guys, there's a lot of saying they slept on, and and it's like, who's sleeping on you though, and because a lot of them, you talk about a school like Everett Waters, and then they're like, but you say you slept on. Do you want to play ball or not? And there's a lot of great things happening, on that level, to give them the best quality that they can get, and they still getting the education, and they can still get money. So I mean, I don't understand the slept on part, but but you guys are giving them, the best quality that you can.
And again, our part, we do recognize that we have to do our best kept secret. We have to make sure that we're visible when we're out on the road and we're telling our story to the student athletes, making sure that they understand. We've got a couple teams that have come through on college tours, and they get off the bus and then they walk and they see the stadium. Flabbergasted. They were like, we
right
idea that this institution firstly not only was here, but it we were just at another university up the road somewhere, and they didn't have all of this. So again, it's about being able to get out and tell the story. And to a young man that says, he slept on, I would say, if we're in a conversation, you're not being slept on. When I give my spiel, that time says you oftentimes have to love you have to love those that love you. So when we do, when we and you'll approach a young man in December during that recruiting phase, and he'll play you a little bit to the left because he's waiting on the Power Five. He holds at the end of February and March. He's blowing you up on Twitter. Coach, I'm the next. Yeah. I'll pay to come up and listen.
Right. Yeah.
It's true. So I would always say to an athlete, and this is where of being blessed to have sat on both sides of the table. We were athletes, but that when university comes in here, you give them the same respect, and you live you the same way you do these Power 5 schools that come in, because not only do you never know, you that you're being blessed with just because you were naive to listen to it. Keep your options open and understand that our philosophy that I just spoke on about is what not what everybody else does, and the transfer portal is having a direct effect on high school athletes. Times when that Division II school comes in, and you might need to really take a strong listen and hear them out and hear what they have to offer, because at the end of the day, you gotta love those that love you, and if those Power 5 schools aren't talking to you now, one has to be realistic and say that it's a probability that they're not going to. And it's not a knock on you. A lot of things that come along with these with this recruiting that I just don't think that not only the and I think the young men don't fully understand. Oftentimes, some of the high school coaches don't fully understand or choose not to understand.
Right.
Parents don't understand.
Right. Right. And I was about to say that for you, Coach. I was about to go ahead and say to any high school coaches that's watching this, stop trying to give these schools, you know, a guy that you didn't even play until the fourth quarter.
my favorite line, Coach, I got a guy that can play for you, but he didn't play for you.
Right. Right. He didn't play to the fourth quarter, but he can play for me though. Like I'm not trying to win a game.
Right. So, and you know, and then oftentimes, you know, they have to understand that to the turnoff, but you sold not just that young man, you've undersold your program. So I think that, you know, you allow the do their job. You do allow them as far as evaluating all the guys that you have available. Now, any grain of salt that knows, you know, this kid is going to be playing on Sunday, and I waste your time recruiting that because you know that doesn't fit into your lane. But the guys that do fit into your lane, you know, you give those coaches the opportunity to actively, fairly recruit him without, you know, the tainted adjectives that might misconstrue a man's mind as far as the level and the caliber of football he may be getting in. Step foot on campus.
Right. Right. And you know, my theory is, you know, if you know, guys always say, well, I'll be the best there. Okay. Well, if more guys who say they the best go there, then now you got all the best playing against each other. So, you know what I mean? So stop saying you will be the best or they suck. But what are you doing? What can you bring to the table? That means you'll be the best, right? So go be the best, you know, and the scouts, they're going to start watching.
Right.
They're going to start watching.
Yeah.
So, Coach, what when you was a position coach, what position did you coach?
Wide receivers and most recent.
Okay, so tell me, who's a guy off the top of your head that you know might be going to the NFL or in the NFL that you be like, man, I would have loved to coach that guy right there. That's the type of guy I want to coach.
At those two positions or any position.
Either way, any position, Coach, any position.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Can I take two? I'm always gonna take Corliss Wakeman.
Wakeman. Okay.
Oh, listen, 52-yard average, flipping the field. My defense don't have to work that hard all the time. So, so always been having that fourth down specialist on offense to make good out of maybe not so good of a situation or series that can help bail you out a little bit is good. But again, I would say Davante Adams, man. He's fun to watch. The thing about him is he's productive year in and year out. And if you watch the skill set of his game, you don't see all the unnecessary YouTube footwork stuff. You see clean cut, polished releases,
right?
Wasted motion. This is how I use my frame. I'm not the fastest guy in the NFL, but look at my body positioning. Look how I transition in and out of these routes. When it's in my vicinity, watch me put these paws on it and I bring it in all the time. Watch me make him miss and score. He's just a dog. Week in and week out and at the highest level.
Yeah. See, I like to ask that question, Coach, because that right there tells kids what they need to know about, you know, the type of players you're looking for, you know,
right.
You know, what they need to be doing, you know, I mean, that's pretty much was my next question, you know, what gets kids on you guys' radar so that, you know, they can come in and compete for a spot with you guys and help win the championship.
I would say, as I always do, to be recruited, you got to be recruitable, firstly. You get 7 seconds impression. And that first impression can come in a way and a lot of different forms. It can come in the form of your transcript. If we come in and we're able to meet your transcript before we meet you, we've already gotten a first impression of what we think of you as a student based on what your transcript says that you are as a captain. It can come in the form of when we're speaking with your coach about what type of young man that you are, and he's honest, and he gives us a great analysis with some type of instances or circumstances that you might be dealing with and how you're currently dealing with them. Again, that's a first impression that we may have had before we even got a chance to say hello. Your social media. When you tweet and you tell me that you're the best thing in the state of Florida, and then we go into your social media, what you know, how are you conducting yourself? What are you allowing the world to see as far as you giving yourself to social media? Is it appropriate? Is it inappropriate? Would it be a distraction? We can find out really if you're a team player or if you're a meat guy. But again, that's a first impression that you allowed us to have. And then importantly, your highlight film. Your highlight film, the first plays they have to be your best 5 plays that you have. And, you know, some young man may say, well, that's not fair. You don't watch the whole film. But if you come into your house and you turn on the television and you cut it on ESPN and you're sitting there watching for the first minute and you don't like what you turn the channel. So you have to understand that you have to make sure those first 5 plays have to be plays that summarize you as a football player, your explosiveness, your ability to show body control, your knowledge of the game. Oftentimes what has happened with these highlight films is that the young men are so caught up into, you know, my senior year film, my junior year film. You've had some plays that were a lot better than some of the plays that this guy might have made as a senior, but because you made, they're not on your highlight film. So I think you have to consider your entire body of work when you're putting together that highlight film, and show at worst it shows that you've been doing it at a high level of your entire high school career. So again, those are added things that, you know, they're those are boxes that you know, answer that you can see by just watching the film. So they're just things that as you peel the onion back that you get to. So those are things I think make you again, you have to you know, get out and I would always say recruit the school that you have an interest in. If they have a camp, that camp is, and try to make sure that you get there. You know, lose the perception of whatever may come with it. You just have to go to that camp with a positive mindset that if this is what I want, this is where I want to be. I want to be my day. When it's time to get reps at the camp, if you don't get reps, so you can't be sitting back, be passive. You gotta be the guy that wants to be seen. So those would be advice that I would definitely offer a young man that was looking to be recruited and recruited by Edward Waters University. Because, you know, the first thing is a question that I'm going to ask you. I'm always going to ask your coach. Is 2 questions back to back. Do you love football and do you love school?
Right. Right. And they don't understand why you ask those questions, Coach.
Right.
They'll understand the grind that they're going to have to go through when they get there. Because you don't love it. You don't question it.
You can't just like it. You got to love it.
You go question some days like, man, I don't even know.
Hey, there's plenty of days in the locker room talking about, man, why am I doing this?
What am I doing? Why am I up at 6:30 again?
Exactly. And then earlier today, I was just talking to Chris earlier about how, you know, I remember the time when I played in the summertime, Coach. There was no such things as just 3 days a week workouts. it was Monday to Friday. During the summer, there was no breaks, there was no rules how long you need to stay out there. And I mean, it was to the point where I'm like, man, really? I'm not coming back tomorrow, and I'll be the first one there the next day.
They didn't understand back in August, the Labor Day weekend, it was 2 days. You didn't know what day of the week it was.
Right. Right. Checking that alarm clock every 2 minutes. Yeah.
Make sure you didn't oversleep.
Yeah. And it's a great opportunity, especially with your school coach. I definitely did not know Ed Waters was the first HBCU in Florida. And, you know, just by the things y'all doing, man, I enjoy listening to the things that you guys accomplishing over there. And look, there's a whole lot more opportunities in Florida than the time I was there, man. It was either Florida State, or Miami. That was it. You know, there was no other school. I didn't even know about any other school. The only other school outside of that was FAMU. And I didn't even know about the football team then. So, man, so it's a good thing that what you're doing down there, Coach.
Appreciate it. And then, like I said, you know, we are the only HBCU Division II team in the state of Florida. So, you know, right now we're in a lane by ourselves. So we got to own that lane and set the bar to a standard that you know is upholding and uplifting to the opportunity that we've been blessed with.
Right. So I mean, so I asked you this earlier. You kind of broke up. Are you guys gonna be at any other camps? I know you guys already did the HBCU camp here in Orlando earlier this month. Well, yeah, last month. Are you guys gonna be at any other camps?
Yes, we're actually gonna be at the camp in Atlanta, the HBCU mega camp in Atlanta, and then the third week of July, we've decided we're gonna do a padded team camp here in Jacksonville. So that'll be again an opportunity, as you know, to get into their perspective, you know, team, bring the team and get some work out of camp. Again, give us a final opportunity to evaluate some guys, look at some guys, get some guys on the radar, and see them, you know, in a more team padded atmosphere.
Yeah. I like those camps. Those are some good camps, especially for high school coaches, because they get to see what they got and what they're you know what they're gonna look like. But then also, you know, guys show out. You know, you might find a diamond that you didn't see before, and they might get opportunity. Yes, I like those camps because it's not touch football. It's like they do now. Listen, I like 707, but you know, when we played 707, it was in the street with cars on both sides. And it was supposed to be two-hand touch, but it didn't always end up that way.
Right. Touching the street, tackling the grass.
Exactly. So I mean, it's a little so before we get out of here, Coach, I gotta ask a question. Everybody always think hard about this question. I always send this question beforehand. And it tells a lot. It tells people a lot about you. And that question is, if you were a fruit, which fruit would you be, Coach?
If I were a fruit, what fruit would I be?
This is an important one.
I'd be a mango.
A mango. That's a new one. Why? Why a mango?
Because you got to reach high to get me.
I like it. Hey, mangoes are hard to cut, man. Me and my wife try to cut those. And we always struggle. We ain't buying no more mangoes unless it's cut already.
Hey, next week we're gonna have a show. We're gonna I'm gonna give you some examples of how to cut mango, Coach.
There you go.
Hey, we struggle. They mush in your hands, and you try to cut it, and the baby be wanting it. We're like, man, we're gonna get something else. Here's a banana. So before we get out of here, Coach, what advice you got for these guys before we get out of here, man? Just give them a little bit of knowledge, some wisdom.
Firstly, stay humble and be true to yourself. Desire to play football at the next level. You firstly have to take care at that particular walk in life. If it's in high school, be the best. as far as going to class, when you're going to class, making sure that you're getting the work done, taking care of your business. So when it's time for you to go to the next level, you've gotten all of your business in order, and now you can actually transition. And now you're not how to do it the right way. You're re-honing the skills that you've already learned. So when you get there, is one thing, but I think the part that oftentimes gets missed is how do you stay there, and that's a very special set of skills that it takes there, man. First thing I will always say, man, is understand, and when we're talking, is that you got to graduate. Okay, they don't build schools for football. Football is for reading, writing. You have to make sure that you're always constantly academically and socially. And the part is don't be afraid to talk about winning. The only time people are afraid to talk about winning is when comes along. So don't be afraid. Roll your sleeves up, get down, get grimy, get down and dirty to get the work done, to get to the winning. And not just, I think if you just take those three entities, that you can transition those to any.
Man, that's good stuff.
And one more question, Coach. If you can let everybody know if they are interested in your school, and how do they get in touch with you or anybody else that they need to get in touch with, contact with, if they have any type of interest of joining your school?
Recruiting coordinator. You broke up.
Our athletic website, which is EWCW Athletics, and on the web.
Say that one more time, Coach. He broke up. He would at the end.
Yeah.
Coach is having some connection issues. We'll go to our Twitter page. We'll post those things on our contact Coach and get with his recruiting coordinator. That's it for the night. We appreciate y'all for joining in and listening to us tonight. Hope you learned something from Coach Morgan.